Welcome, everyone. This is episode 7 of the YMCA's new podcast interview series entitled Shreveport-Bossier, My City, My Community, My Home. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development, and today's guest is Jamal Martin. He is a documentary photographer and filmmaker. Super excited to have you here, Jamal.
I'm excited too. This is pretty cool. Let's do a podcast episode.
Well, let's hop in. Thanks so much for making the time. So, my first question is, I recently was reading an interview with the writer William S Burroughs, and he made the following statement. Dreaming is a very necessary function, and I think that's something that artists do. They dream for other people. How do you feel about that statement? How would you describe what you feel is your role as a photographer and as an artist?
As a photographer and as an artist, especially with like my style of photography, filmmaking, and shooting photos, I feel like it's documenting history in the making. Like what I do, that's what I feel is like history, and I'm capturing these moments that don't happen like repeatedly. They only happen in that moment that I either take the frame or take the photo, and I want my work to kind of, last for a long period of time, even after, I'm not here. Hopefully, people can discover my work and just find different things about it and inspire their dreams and goals of being creatives. I think that's really what it's all about when it comes down to me is not only history, but inspiring others to be able to do what I do,
Which brings me to my next question. I've read that your stepfather is the one that introduced you to photography. Talk to me about his influence and how he inspired you to take photographs.
So when I was younger, he had like this really old Canon digital camera, and he would always just take photos, like my brother and I, or our family with the dog, just vacations, things like that. I think that's kind of what initially got me into photography, not knowing, because I was so young back then. I was just like, oh, he's taking pictures. He'll print them out, show them to us, put them on the computer and flip through them. And so I think he influenced or kind of provided that spark to give me the idea of, okay, this is photography, like this is cool. But I don't think it was until I got older that I picked up a camera and I kind of thought, where did this possibly come from? Like my interest to get into photography and things like that. And I mean, my stepdad was the one, probably the first person that I saw with a camera taking photos of me that I can remember from being young. So I think he heavily influenced my passion and just picking that up and trying to go after it. So.
And most of the photos of yours I've seen seem captured rather than staged. Talk to me a little about your process. Do you just always have your camera on you? What happens to make you decide to pull your camera out and start photographing?
So as far as like capturing my photos, I really like candid. I don't like staged or posed or telling people do this or do that, because I feel like it ruins that moment or that authenticity of the photograph. So I like to capture people in their natural element when they're not paying attention or at those least expected times. And I always have a camera on me, whether it's my actual camera, I use a Fujifilm X100V, or film cameras like my Leica M6, or even my iPhone. A lot of my pictures on my Instagram feed are from my phone, and people think you have to have like these amazing cameras to take photos, and you don't. Like your iPhone is more than capable of taking pictures, and that's what I have on me all the time. So I gravitate towards my iPhone a lot to capture my work. But as far as it's like an instinct that I get. If I see something, like I'll be hanging with my friends walking down the street, talking to them, and then something happens out the corner of my eye, I'll be like, hold on, I need to go get this. It's just like a feeling that I get that I need to get that picture. And I think when I first started, I used to be scared to stop and go get photos, just because I was scared of getting those candid moments, or what if they see me, or what if, because it's street photography, so it's not, hey, you do this pose and hold this. It's like, it's a moment. You go get it and get back to what you're doing. But I think what helped me get over that was like these moments only happen in that split second of time. Either you're gonna get it now or you're gonna go home and be like, man, I wish I would've got that picture. Cause there's times where I saw a really great image and I didn't take the picture and I regretted it later. And so I think that's a part of why my style and how I do it, why I just go and get this instinct. It's just like a feeling I get, or like something tells me, hey, go get that picture before you miss it, you know? So I think that's how my brain works when I'm out and I do stuff.
And before I forget, because it's not one of my questions, so where does one go to find your photos right now?
So mainly my Instagram, Jamal the Photographer.
Okay.
That's where like most of my work is. I post quite frequently my work on there, so that's where it's at.
Okay, perfect. So I asked another guest a similar question recently. You have a friend come into town that has never been to the Shreveport-Bossier area before. He or she is only in town for one full day. Where do you go, or where do you take him or her to give them a feel for your community?
I would say probably like around family, like my family or close friends that I hang out with, because there's a lot of my photographs that are my friends and my family, or even like my girlfriend. So it's like people that are close to me, I would take them around them and just hang with them for a day and kind of just capture the day as it goes to show them like this is how I do things, and this is the community that I like build my work around. It's pretty difficult, you know, being in Shreveport, doing the style of work that I do. A lot of people really like my work, but I don't think they realize how hard it is for me to create the photos that I create, because I'm not in like a New York City or like a big city where stuff's always going on. So that community and those people, that small circle is where I mainly find my inspiration, and I like branch out from there. So if somebody came to town and wanted to know like how I do what I do and wanted to see me work, I would just take them around that community of family, friends, close people to me, and show them how to document that. Because I feel like that's the most important thing to document too, is the people closest to you. You can document people elsewhere, but like your grandparents, your parents, your brother, your sister, people that you love, those people that you value, that's really important. And I think that's at the core of my work. I think that's what it is. People that I value, people that I see value in when I document.
And which locations, just, I know every day is different, but
yeah.
Which if that person was coming to town for a day, where are likely places that they may find your family or your friends, or where you might be spending time?
Most times with my friends, we just go downtown and like hang out there, coffee shops, we walk around downtown, just talk, see if we see, because I have other friends that are photographers and creators as well, so we'll go downtown, just scope around and see what things happen. Some days you get lucky and there's things going on and things happen, and some days it's like a ghost town, so it just depends on the days you go downtown. But the days that I do find stuff, like it excites me. I'm like, yes, there's something down here, you know? Because a lot of the days I go downtown, it's just, there's nothing going on, which is, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, I'll go home and I'll be like, maybe another day, go back, and boom, something's there. So just depends on the day.
And where else? Like what part of Shreveport-Bossier does your family live in? Where do most of your friends live?
My family, most of them are in Bossier. A lot of my friends are in Shreveport though, so like I'm in Bossier sometimes and I'm in Shreveport, but I make most of my work in Shreveport, just because that's where a lot of things happen. Not saying nothing happens in Bossier, but you know, not a lot of people are really out in Bossier most times, and so I'll just go to Shreveport where maybe an event is happening or a concert or something. I try to go, especially when things I know something's happening, I try to get to it, because I know the moments of me finding stuff is rare. So when there are events that I can get to and find work, I'll go.
you're a young black man, a photographer that focuses mainly on the black community locally. From your perspective, is the black community unified with the white community in the Shreveport-Bossier area? And if not, as you look around, what are some of the steps you feel could be taken to help bring these two communities closer together?
I feel like it depends on the part of town that you're in, or like the event. Because I've been to some things where I feel like I don't belong, and then there's some where I feel like I belong. I'm just there doing what I need to do. But as far as like unity, I mean, I feel like it all starts with the heart of people. People's heart is what connects, and like love that connects people together. So I feel like that's the most important thing when it comes to unifying the black community, the white community, or whatever community there is, and to realize that, no matter what our skin color is, like we're all human beings. And most people mean no harm, like, we just want to come together and do what we have to do. But being a black photographer, like, it's pretty difficult, not just here, but just on a day-to-day trying to be a creative and just create work. But I feel like at the bottom line, like, love is what unifies people. And if you have love in your heart, and love for other people despite race, then it's gonna merge them together. So.
And when you go to a place and you feel like you don't belong, like you said, sometimes I go to places and I feel like I don't belong. What gives you that feeling, or what makes you say that or feel that way?
I mean, there's been instances like I tried to shoot a concert here at the Rebel actually, and this band came or whatever, and the guy that was like the main photographer, he was a white photographer, and we talked, we were cool or whatever. He was like, I'll get you in and you can shoot with me, come in with me behind the gate. So I went in with him behind the gate, and there was a few other photographers too that just were there to shoot, and they got behind the gate. They weren't black, they were white. And so when I was shooting, I guess one of the security guards, she kind of came up to me, she started asking me like, what are you doing back here? Are you supposed to be shooting photos? But mind you, she didn't question anybody else that was there. And so, she was about to tell me I had to go, but then the guy luckily came and told her like, he's with me, he's good. So it's just things like that, like being profiled, being a black photographer. Like, it doesn't matter if I have a camera in my hands, I feel like I'm still gonna be profiled in certain scenarios. Even when I was in Baton Rouge, I was walking down the street doing street photography there downtown. A lady walking on the same side of the street as me, she had her purse or whatever. So I'm walking, had on regular clothes, had my camera, nice haircut, walk past her. She goes on the other side of the street before she passes me, walks by, and then once she passes me, she gets back on the same sidewalk. So it's just like instances like that that make me feel like no matter what type of black photographer I am, no matter if I'm a nice guy, no matter if I have manners, no matter if I mean no harm, it's still like a target on my back, or I'm still judged based off of what people see or perceive black people as a whole. And so that's pretty difficult to like wake up and deal with on the day-to-day, especially being a creative and wanting to do what you love day in and day out, but feeling like no matter how hard you work, like it doesn't mean much. Even though I got the Shreveport Times thing, even though I've been featured in other things as well, like that to me really, it should mean a lot, but doesn't feel like much, so.
And how did that come about, the Shreveport Times piece? Because that is how I first heard about you and discovered you and then reached out to you.
She actually said she saw my page like months prior, which I thought was pretty cool. And I know they see my work because they would like my work like months before, like they would like my work when I posted. So I was like, oh, they must, see me or see my work and everything. But she reached out to me, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, that they want to feature me. And when she asked, I was like, sure, I'll do it. And that's how it happened, too.
Perfect. All right, so this new initiative we started at the Y, which today is part of, it's called Shreveport-Bossier, My City, My Community, My Home. It has two components, the podcast interview series like we're doing today, and then a periodic panel discussion series. We've announced that our next panel discussion will focus on the issue of juvenile crime in the Shreveport-Bossier area. How do you see the juvenile crime problem in our community, and do you see any steps we can start taking to help address the problem?
Yeah, as far as in our community, there's like a lot of juvenile crime and things happening in these areas, but I feel like in order to get them out the streets or doing whatever they're doing, they need to have some place that they can go or some things that they can do to keep them busy, so that way they're not like, oh, I'm just gonna turn to the streets or I'm gonna go do what they're doing. So like community activities, or like even with photography, I would love to like teach in these communities where kids probably don't know about photography or can't afford these high-end cameras and everything. You know, I would love to do like a program where I could teach kids like, you don't have to go out and like shoot a gun or do all this stuff. You can shoot a camera and make these valuable photos and kind of redirect that energy into something positive. Even it could be like boxing or community cleanup or art where they go paint murals, just different things like that. I think that's important, that we find activities that they can go do to keep them busy, and I feel like that would help with the crime and everything going on, lower that here in the city. I just think that those types of steps need to be made, and that's like really important, because people complain about the crime rate all day long, saying, oh, they're steady killing each other, they're steady stealing and robbing and stuff, but it's like, what are you doing to stop that? I mean, yes, they're doing it, but you're not helping in any way for it to slow down. So I feel like if we gave them, you know, places to go to be safe and to do things that they want to do and redirect that negative energy into something positive, then it can change a lot.
And then I'm down to my last question with you.
Okay.
I've read that having people see Black joy is important to you.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little about that?
So, Black joy for me, I feel as if in the media, a lot of the times the Black community is portrayed in like a negative way, and I don't really see a lot of positive things about the Black community, whether it's like with love or doing things positive in their life. And Black joy to me is beautiful, and I think that kind of flows through all of my work, and I think that's why people gravitate towards it so much. Even when it comes down to me and my girlfriend, like she's a photographer as well, and unknowingly, like I document our love a lot. But if you think about Black love, a lot of the homes, the father's not there, or they're divorced, the mom is not there, so it's like separated homes, but you don't really see strong Black love nowadays, or like Black people smiling, Black people just enjoying life. It's always sadness, it's always killing, there's always negativity. And so any moment that I get to capture Black joy and show people that, show the media that, you know, the Black community is not always negative. There's happiness here, there's joy here, there's love here, there's positivity here. I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to share that. I feel like it's my duty, because as a Black man, growing up Black in these experiences and these different things, I feel like I have a different like perspective and view that I can like get into these communities and where I grew up and share that. And even with my work now, I kind of, when I take certain photographs, it kind of reminds me of like my childhood or experiences that I've had and I connected to. And so, but Black joy to me, that's really important to show, because it's there, even it's here amongst the killings and the crime rates and all the negativity. There's happiness here, there's joy here, and there's good moments, there's positive light. And overall, that's what I want to spread, like positivity. I want to spread love, and I want to spread joy for my people, you know. So.
And I see that when I look at your work.
Yeah.
I feel it, and I see it, and you're definitely doing that.
Thank you.
So, everyone, definitely check out Jamal's work on Instagram.
Yep.
Tell them again where to.
Jamal Photographer on Instagram and my Twitter as well. I share some work there. Not as frequently as Instagram, but I will, drop photos and things there every now and then. So, but most of my work is on my Instagram and then my YouTube channel, which hopefully I'm gonna get back to it soon because I've been so busy. I've been wanting to get back to it, but Jamal Photographer is my YouTube channel too, where I just share my journey, photography, behind the scenes, different things like that people want to know. So
keep up the beautiful work. I was really moved looking at your photographs and look forward to seeing many, many more.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.